She has a few minutes. And I did turn the recording on. Good. I don't want to make that mistake again. All right, Sharon, I asked everybody else about the weather, and you're in Florida. I almost hate to ask, but what's the weather like?
You might win.
Yeah.
Oh, it's dreary and cloudy today.
Yeah, but what's the temperature?
Oh, 70.
Oh, she's so casually 70. The rest of us, we're freezing.
I can take 50, 40, 60. I can't take heat and humidity. So by March 1st, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Where will you go?
Back home, Chicago. My husband and I are here right now. I just put a property up for sale, and we'll be closing on March 1st, and then we're going back home. So,
Oh, well, good for you.
yeah,
That's the way to do it. You know, you travel where the weather is the best.
mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had many nice seasons here. It started out as a investment property that we rented, and then we started using it ourselves as we retired, and now it's time to let it go. You know, you get older and it gets harder to take care of too many things.
Well, I do have Sue with us, so why don't I let her in? And I think it's 1 minute. We're ready to go. See if we can get Sue now. We're getting better at this, I think. I'd like to believe it anyway. I like to believe it. Okay. Oh, Sue.
I see
There,
very
there,
There she
she is. Hello.
I see you're being very optimistic about we're getting better at this.
Yeah, we are. Well,
Think positive.
I told them we were practicing earlier, and we may be able to use slides, but remember, we're volunteers.
Okay, yes, okay. Alrighty, now you need to share with me, my dear.
Oh, I do. I have to make you the co-host. Let me see. I make you the co-host. All righty-o. There you go.
Okay,
If that doesn't work,
here to where it
there's
says
another
share
setting.
screen,
Yes.
green thingy. And then I
Uh-huh.
come up here where it says, not whiteboard, not
No.
phone.
PowerPoint down below, I think.
No, I don't have it, but that does not mean necessarily, you know what? It might be I have to have my PowerPoint up and running.
Yes, you do. Yes,
Okay.
you do.
Okay,
So,
you having your PowerPoint up and running was going to be enough. So sorry, hold on.
no, you're running at this time, dear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. That's really scary if you think about
That
it.
is absolutely frightening. Okay, here we go. Okay, now the next question is,
How do you get to PowerPoint?
no, it's up. Now, do I
Okay.
have to,
Share screen.
okay, hit share, well, yes, but share, there we go. Share with,
There we go.
Woo!
Yay.
Okay,
There
now,
you go.
this is a, thing in progress here. This is a lesson in progress.
Yeah. Now,
So, now, I cannot
Ooh.
see anybody though.
you should, did you go up? Did you
Oh,
go
there
to?
we go. You're on the side. Cool. beans.
Yeah, I told you that earlier. Now
Okay,
she believes me. Now to see
Okay,
everybody,
I've
you
got
may
two
have,
people.
yeah,
I've
well,
got you and I got Martha. Hi, Martha.
Hi.
you may have to see everybody. You may have to do there
I
should
have
be
to
a
clicky-
down
I have to
arrow.
I have to
Huh?
clicky sideways.
Yeah, something like
Okay. Well, now, God bless us.
that. Okay, wait.
Wait.
Are you gonna make the slides the full screen?
Yeah,
Like,
mine they are.
I see on the left column, I see all the slides listed, but the slide itself, it's split into, your PowerPoint is split into two sections. All of the slides down the column, and then the first slide in the big box.
Yeah, that could be, let me see, hold on a second. We
you
need slideshow is what you're telling me, in other words.
Well, I don't know
So-
PowerPoint,
No,
So,
if
but
you-
I think it's slideshow, yeah.
It's
think you-
slideshow. What are you getting now?
Same thing.
Good enough.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay, and I can't see anybody right now. I'm assuming you can see me, so I'm going to try not to pick my nose or do anything disgusting.
Okay, we can
Okay.
see you, so don't
Well,
do
if you
that.
need to go, go ahead. So,
If you click on that
Okay.
little square at the bottom of your PowerPoint, it'll fill up the screen and it'll get rid of your background and all the
Yeah,
slides.
That little what thing at the bottom of my PowerPoint?
It's like a little square, the very right-hand corner of your PowerPoint. You're
no, she's
right
off.
there, right there.
Okay, you have to understand that
Her screen is very zoomed.
okay, to begin with, my PowerPoint is 124%. And then on top of that, I have no idea. I hit it a couple times.
Huh.
It's, like I said, then I have it on accessibility with a magnifier.
Try this though,
With
okay? Move your cursor to where your slides go down in the column. I'm watching your
Yes.
cursor. Go
Yeah.
up to the first one,
Yes.
okay? Okay, click on the first one. Double click or whatever.
They're there. It's there, but these aren't going away. The sides aren't going away.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll go with what we have.
Okay, yes, I said that 5 minutes ago.
I know, but I thought maybe.
Maybe.
Okay,
No, hey,
go
no,
ahead.
come on now.
Go ahead.
Okay, distress tolerance. Okay, distress tolerance skills have to do with the ability to, not with the ability to solve problems, actually, is what I have in my other notes, because if I, wait a minute, you know what? I have that wrong. They do not have with the ability to solve problems. Okay, basically what we're doing is handling problems and tolerating problems. And we're trying to handle and tolerate these problems in a way that's about accepting and, again, tolerating. And we use distress tolerance, again, not in a way to solve problems, but in perceiving your environment and experiencing your emotions exactly the way they are. We're not attempting to change anything. I think, people who were with us before, there are essentially 4 ways to handle any problem. One is to solve it. But so often we do not have the tools, and those are emotional tools, environmental tools, and solutions to solve a problem. So we can go to number 4, which is stay miserable, or we can actually go to number 2. I'm not going to do that. Number 2, which is changing your emotions, or number 3, which is tolerating. And that in DBT is what we're talking about now. You perceive your environment. We talked a lot about observing and describing and seeing what is real. And you experience what is actually happening without trying to change it. Acceptance is huge, okay? Because like I said, sometimes we are simply not physically capable, we're not emotionally capable, and we just can't do it. Now, distress tolerance, basically, when I talk to people about distress tolerance, I say distress tolerance is not to solve it. It's not actually to make the problem better as much as it is to keep you from shooting yourself in your foot. Okay? Because emotions become so overwhelming that we often lose the control to handle them, and we act very impulsively. And very often when we act impulsively, and sorry guys, I have to move this up because it's actually like 3 times the size of what my screen is. Okay, there are ways of trying to handle the pain, ways of getting the suffering to go away, And very often, they are horrible solutions. They will work in the short term, but they do not actually work in the long term. I mean, I don't know how many of you have sat down with a whole chocolate cake and when you're upset and looked around and found it was gone. Anybody? Because I can't see you, so I'm gonna have to, like, where are you? Oh, there
Yep.
okay, so you
Stress eating.
stress eating. You sit down with the entire chocolate cake and before you know it, it's gone and you wonder what's happening. And it has helped you in the short term. But in the long term, as far as solving your problem or making you truly feel better on the long term, it doesn't do much of anything. So dysfunctional behaviors, cutting, drinking, overeating, having hissy fits, they're short-term solutions, but they don't get us towards our long-term goals. And distress tolerance, basically, my dear, is just to keep us from getting in those fixes. It's, you know, ways of surviving the situation without resorting to dysfunctional behaviors. And that, again, like I said, that will make the situation worse, shoot yourself in the foot. And they help us to experience, tolerate, and accept, and there's that word again, accept the emotional pain in order to build a life with less suffering and more acceptance of the world as it is. And DBT will say that suffering equals pain minus acceptance. If you have pain, the world, life is pain. We all know this. We've all, you know, had horrible things happen to us. Life is pain. I have a client that lost his father last week and was doing CPR on him. The kid is 22 years old. So, you know, like, life is pain. But if you don't accept what is happening, you will suffer. And that's pretty much guaranteed. So, you know, distress tolerance is basically trying to get us to accept, to be aware of what our options are that will not make things worse. And that may actually lead to a longer term solution. Okay, so skills should help you through life when you can't make changes for the better. And I said this before, if you are in a situation such as we are, many of us have dry AMD, and last time I looked, nothing came out that will help us with dry AMD. There's no treatment, there's no cure. Hopefully one of these days that will happen. But right now, we can't make changes for the better of our condition. And if you can't sort out your feelings well enough to determine how you feel, and essentially, you know, basically that's what that is you're having a hissy fit, you're not able to control your emotions, and you're going to do something stupid. And that's what, you know, that's basically what distress tolerance is. Again, to keep you from doing something stupid. You know, and here there's the slide. And these are all, by the way, stolen with love from Bloomsburg Psychological Center and, you know, DBT program. I kind of picked out 50 of them. So upon completing this section, which is usually a 12-week education program, an hour and a half each week. So you are getting the Reader's Digest version of this. You'll be able to survive crisis situations without making them worse. And you will also, if you are in our program, we sincerely hope, note that acceptance of reality is not the equivalent of approval of reality. We are not approving any truly crappy situation. Acceptance and approval are not the same thing. you know, nor, as I said last time, is just basically lying down and letting the world roll over you. That's not acceptance either. Okay. Tolerating and surviving crises and accepting things in the moment. And that will allow you to be free. And I'm sure some of you have heard, basically there is a saying that said, and the truth shall set you free. Accepting the truth of your situation will set you free. Because I'm not, you know, I really don't believe that a lot of us are suffering from the vision loss. We're suffering from fighting the vision loss. Suffering from not accepting that this is the way life is. Having that anxiety and, you know, that's it. I just heard somebody clear a throat. Is somebody disagreeing with me, agreeing with me, going, oh. Any comments on that?
Sue, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try the feature called mute all because I hear something in the background and I'm not sure what it is. So
Right.
I'm going to try mute all. And when I shake my head, say something so I don't mute you. Okay.
We're
Hold on.
not here. Hold on a second.
Huh?
I need to find you. There you are.
Oh,
Okay.
find me.
I found you.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Okay. Sue.
I'm
You can-
unmuted. I just unmuted myself.
Okay. Now, everybody else, you can unmute yourself if you want to say something. Okay. You can unmute yourself. All right. Go ahead, Sue.
Okay. Okay. Like I said, upon getting through this course, you will become free. Because again, what we're afraid of is not our vision problems. What we're afraid of is what we're afraid of what might happen. We're afraid of not accepting it. Okay, so crisis survival skills. And I'm sure you guys all know what crises are. They're the things that jump out at you and you go, oh my God, and this is horrible. The kid walking into the living room the other night and finding his father on the floor having a heart attack. That was a crisis. That was one that he jumped into to try to solve, but it didn't work so well. Other crises, when I teach this, I like to use the Chilean mine disaster. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but there were 31 men at the bottom of a shaft that was longer than 2 Empire State Buildings. And they were down there for 69 days. Now, the crisis was when the shaft collapsed. And they realized that they were 2 Empire State Buildings below ground with no way out. That was the crisis. And then the acceptance was what they had to do the next 68 days before they got out. So one is responding to a crisis situation that you're very emotionally distraught and everything is fight, flight, or freeze. The other part is how to survive the long haul. And the crisis survival skills are the fight, flight, or freeze. They are things like doing a lot of distraction, improving the moment, self-soothing, focusing on pros and cons, and I'm not sure why we have a gecko there, but he's cute, and the stop skill and the tip skill. And these are things that we go over, and I think I actually need a hyphen there, and we will go over those eventually here, but we do go over them in our trainings at BPC. Okay, now the distress tolerance skills are the accept skills, the ones that are when you have an ongoing negative situation. They're divided into accepting reality, the basic principles of accepting reality, and guidelines for accepting reality. They are radical acceptance, turning the mind, willingness versus willfulness, and then awareness of current thoughts, half smile, willing hands, and observe your breath exercises. Okay, so let's start there. Okay, when to use crisis skills. When you are in intense pain, when you are in a panic attack, when you are having things that are absolutely, I can't handle this, I can't handle this. Your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight, flight, or freeze, is going at full tilt. That's when you can use these, or close. Okay, full tilt would be the tip skill. We'll get to that. But the other ones are when you're revving up, when you're, like it's to reduce the pain to manageable levels so that you are able to make reasonably good decisions and don't do any destructive behaviors like eating an entire chocolate cake, even though that sounds like an idea. Okay. They are ways to act in when you're an emotional mind. An emotional mind is a concept from DBT. Basically, in DBT, there are 3 states of mind. One is emotional mind, and that is when you're making all your decisions based on your emotions. I have to get out of here. This is dangerous. I don't want this to be. I will do anything to get out of this situation. That's emotional mind. Rational mind is when you're actually using your rational facilities to try to figure out a problem. And those of you who are Trekkies, Mr. Spock is the epitome of the rational mind. And then wise mind is actually a combination of the two.
Sue,
Huh?
hold on for a second.
Yeah.
Joan, Bywater, you said Sue is gone? Sue,
What?
unmute yourself, Joan. Joan, unmute.
Which Joan?
Oh, you're okay? Okay, she's okay now. She chatted, she sent me a chat message that you were gone, but she's changed her mind. You're okay.
Oh,
Go ahead.
good.
So where were we? Which mind
I
were
was
we on?
I was talking about 3 states of mind.
Yeah.
Rational mind is the mind that you use when you're solving math problems, when you're trying to figure out how to make this stupid computer do what you want it to do. That's your rational mind. And when I describe this to people, I say, okay, suppose that you had a car that all it has is a motor, no brake, no steering. What will happen to you? And I'm not going to ask for input here because I can't see anybody, but I'm assuming most of you people are saying that you're going to run into a tree, you're going to run off the cliff. You will be moving without any control to how you're moving. And that's your emotional mind. Now, if you had a car with steering and brake and no motor, you're not going to run off a cliff, you're not going to run into a tree, but you're not going to be doing much else either. So the two basic states of mind, emotional mind and rational mind, work together. Okay, so that you can be making good decisions, but motivated by your emotions. Okay, and that's that quick explanation there. So basically, you want to get out of emotional mind when that is going to make things worse. Okay, and you want to hopefully get into wise mind. So these are useful when you suddenly have an urge to do something stupid. And these, these were not necessarily made, these slides were not necessarily made by me. They're much more PC. But if you're going to do something that will make matters worse, you need to get out of that mind. And that's what these are for. Hold on, let me find my next one here. Okay. So if the emotional distress is becoming overwhelming, if you are really finding yourself to the point that you're going to start crying, that you're going to start running around the house, probably it's better to reduce these feelings immediately before we have to really experience them. And feeling overwhelmed, okay. But needing to meet demands. This is when you have a presentation to make and you're going, oh my, I've got an audience and I can't see them and I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, but I have to do what I'm going to do here. So then that's that too. When you are trying to keep yourself from falling apart emotionally and trying actually to perform a task. And I apologize for being all over, but when my screen is 5 times the size it's supposed to be, we have a few problems here. Okay, let's see.
So would it help if I ran the slides?
No, not because they have to be big anyway.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, it would, we'll try it. If you get, we should be on what? I just did 5, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so try going to the next one. See
okay.
if that happens. See if it happens. Will yours move it around too?
What do you mean? This is
Okay.
number 5,
Try to go to 6.
right?
Okay.
No.
No, sorry, ladies. We are still working. This is a thing in progress here. We will keep working on it.
There we go. Whoops. Went past it, I think.
I passed it. Okay.
Mhm.
So,
Are we on?
okay, I think we did 5, right? We
Yep.
essentially hit all the, okay, so this is the intro to the next one. Okay, distracting is a crisis survival skill. And the little saying that we have from DBT is wise mind accepts. And this is one of those words that you put all the first letters together and it spells something. And do not ask me, I want to say something like I don't want to say anagram, but it's close to it. Okay, I never remember.
Acronym?
That's it, thank you. Okay, so it's activities, contributing, comparison, emotions, which is opposite to emotions, pushing away, thoughts, and sensations. Okay.
Now, I see some people who are trying to, read the screen, and I know that it may be hard. I'll get you information with these details after the session, okay? Especially now that we're on the skills section, I'll make sure that you have these after the session. So go ahead, Sue.
Okay, and you watch my time too, because I can talk forever.
I know. Go ahead.
Okay, so activities. We all know how to distract with activities. You sit down and you read a book. You go and you crochet. You go for a walk. Those are great ways of distracting. But there are others. Contributing. When you are contributing to someone else who has a problem, whose problems are you thinking about? Your own or that other person? So contributing really is helpful. It makes you feel good about yourself. It takes your mind off of the things that you feel are bothering you. For a while, you're not thinking about yourself at all. You're thinking about other people. And the flip side of this is, again, I keep saying, allow people to help you. It is a gift. If they are able to contribute to you, they feel better about what's going on with them. They feel worthy. Allow it to happen because you are giving them a gift. And it's also one of the distracting skills. Comparison. Now, we need to be careful when we do comparison skills. Comparison skills can be tricky because, you know, if you're looking at your diet meal, you know, oh, I've got lettuce and carrots. How about that? And then you start saying, well, at least I've got more than the people have in Afghanistan. You start feeling guilty and you want to pack up things and send it to Afghanistan. That's not the idea. You want to make sure that you have some good feelings about your comparisons. So if you say, you know what, I think I'm doing better accepting my vision loss than I did a month ago. I think I'm better at handling the PowerPoint, yeah, sure, right, than I was this morning. So you can do it. Oops, hello. Was that something we needed to attend to?
Nope, just somebody entering. We're okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so comparison skills are important if you use them correctly. I'm doing better than I was doing. I'm, you know, like, make them positive. Now, emotions. This ties in with opposite to emotion. And I think we talked about this a little bit before, but opposite to emotion and emotions in general basically involved allowing yourself to feel emotion that's not the emotion that you're feeling in the state that you're in. So if you're depressed, watch a scary movie. It's kind of hard to be depressed when you've got, you know, like Michael, whatever the hell his name was, coming at you, right? If you got Chucky the doll running across the screen and you're, you know, if you're afraid, it's hard to be depressed. If you're doing something that gives you joy, it's hard to be depressed. But change the emotion. Make it so that it's not the same emotion that you were feeling. Put on a comedy, put on a scary movie, whatever it is you can do. Pushing away. Okay, people also get this one confused. Pushing away is not avoiding. Avoiding is choosing not to solve a problem when you have the solution in your hand and you're capable of solving it. Okay, pushing away is, I don't have a solution. I don't have the emotional response. You know, I don't have the emotional state to actually work on this. It's not going to happen right now. And if anybody's a Gone with the Wind fan, I know I messed this one up. I'm aware of that. But in my head, there's a scene where Scarlett O'Hara is standing at Tara and the, you know, like the Union troops are coming across her fields. Her fields are burning. Her slaves are running away. And one of her housemaids comes up and throws another problem at her. And she says, I can't worry about that now. I've got to worry about that later. I'll do that tomorrow. Okay, that's push away. If you are so overwhelmed that you can't handle it, if you have no way to solve it, put it in the metaphorical jar, put the lid on, put it on the shelf. And when you have the opportunity that you do have the ability to solve it, you do have the emotional state to solve it, bring it down, solve it. Okay, now thoughts. Thoughts are a fun one. Usually this is one of those things that people go, I can't do that. Okay, I had somebody run the periodic tables as their thought distraction. Something I'm going to do, let me tell you. I've had people do quadratic equations as their thought distraction. Okay, I usually teach serial sevens. Anybody want to be my, Lynn, anybody want to be my guinea pig and try to do sevens counting down from 100?
It wouldn't be me.
It would not be
No.
you.
No,
Who
I,
thinks
you
that they
know,
can count 7 from 100 and just keep going?
yeah, who can do that?
Who can do that?
Counting sevens.
100 minus
Nobody.
7 minus 7.
Okay, 100 minus 7 is 93.
Minus 7,
Minus 7 is 80 something.
86. Okay,
86.
yeah. Okay, I've taught so long I can do it. Okay, 93, 86, 79, 72, 65, 58, 51. Okay.
Can we do it by one? I could do it by one.
Okay, you can do it by threes. It has
Okay, I
to be
could.
something that is just that little teeny tiny bit of difficulty that you're going, okay.
That's why I asked by ones.
Oh, I don't think you need to actually put that much effort into it. I don't think, is that a teeny tiny difficulty or is it no difficulty at all?
Some days is a teeny tiny difficulty.
Okay. And sensation. Okay, sensation is, and the way I describe this is one day I was walking down the street and I think I was in Philly and I had a migraine and I failed to pick my foot up high enough and I slammed into the curb and I destroyed my toenail and I'm bleeding all over the place. And, you know, it's like, okay, was I thinking about my migraine anymore? I'm going to pretend I heard no. Okay. I would not suggest that you do that type of damage. But one thing I do suggest to people is that they keep Tabasco sauce or something that they really don't like in the refrigerator. I had a client who kept a box of Red Hots in her car. And when she started going down the proverbial rabbit hole and started to do the, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this is awful, this is terrible, she'd pop a Red Hot and she would basically reset. You know, you go back to default when you do this. You can run around the backyard in the snow in your underwear if you want to. You can get in a cold shower. You can, you know, try not to do anything that would permanently damage you, but something that gives you enough sensation that you go, whoa. That sensation. So those are the 7 ways.
Can I stop you and ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Go back to that slide with the list, the accepts, please. Can you? There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, my understanding of DBT is that these acronyms are things like if you were going to try to practice this, you would memorize what each of those letters meant. Like A is activities, C is contributing, C is comparison, Z is, okay, so you'd memorize those. And then when you're in this high stress situation, like, you know, my heart is pounding, I think I'm going to have a panic attack. You have that acronym to help you go through some of the options you have to distract yourself, correct?
Yes, and sometimes you're going to be too high for these.
Yeah. Or
what?
Could you have your favorites?
You do your favorites all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So another
nothing but activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, I'm starting to have I'm really anxious. So I know that what calms me down is going and finding somebody that I can help,
Mhm.
or I watch a scary movie. No, let's see. Okay, opposite of emotion would be,
Okay, the
me-
opposite for emotion would be a comedy. However, if you have another type of emotion to substitute that works just as well, like
Okay.
scary movies.
okay, or scary movies, and pushing away would be again, okay, I'm getting really anxious about this and I really can't even think straight and I can't deal with it today. So I'm just gonna wait. I'll deal with it tomorrow. Or okay.
I have tried to figure this out on my computer. I have tried. I
Yeah.
can't do it. This thing is driving me crazy.
So we're getting into that state and you can't change what's happening. You
That's right.
have to change how you deal with it. And how you can change how you deal with it. These are 7 different ways that you can. Now,
Right.
I'd like to just open this and say, of the audience, and you can unmute yourself, have you done any of these things? Do you have any favorites of these that you do? Anybody ever say, I can't deal with this today, I'll deal with it tomorrow?
Any straw little hairs?
No, anybody ever put on a scary movie when they're depressed, or a happy or a comedy when they're depressed?
I've got another
I-
question. Go ahead.
Oh, I've watched scary movies, but I didn't realize that I was subconsciously changing my feelings of whatever I was feeling at the moment.
Well, you might not have been. You might not have been.
Well,
It
yeah,
could
I
have been.
think maybe I was. but
Ah,
I hadn't
okay.
realized it.
Yeah.
I get depressed now and again, and I do like to watch a scary movie, and I often wondered, why do I like watching those scary movies? So maybe that's why.
They
No,
change
could
your
be.
attitude. Now, I've got another question. How many of you will put on the sad love story? How many of you will put on something like Leader of the Pack, where the guy dies when you're feeling awful? When you're feeling terrible, how many people put on the Maudlin, movie, the Maudlin song?
I got accused of that, and it's true. I used to, before I became aware, I used to put on things that would make me feel worse, justify that I was feeling bad. And that's kind of contrary to the, that's just opposite to what.
Let's just
should
put
have
it, ain't helping.
Yeah,
Let's
I
put
know. Anybody else?
I read.
Marilyn?
I read to
Okay.
distract myself.
Okay,
I'm an
Okay.
avid reader, so I read.
okay. That's
Be
good.
distracted activities or possibly thoughts. If that,
Yeah.
I take it that's Marilyn.
It's
right?
Marilyn,
Yes, it
yeah.
is.
Okay. So that might be thoughts too. If you're doing a book that might have some deep philosophical insights.
Oh no,
Oh, a romance.
romances and mysteries.
Oh,
Okay.
mysteries are good. Who done it?
Yeah.
Right? That works.
Okay, anybody else?
I like to listen to music.
Do you listen to music that's opposite of how you're feeling? In other words, if you're feeling down, do you listen to up music?
Generally, yeah. I
Okay.
listen to a lot of classical music
Mhm.
that I can kind of get absorbed in, and
Mhm.
it just soothes
Okay.
me.
Good.
Okay, good. Okay, Sue, I think we can go on.
We can move on.
We're 45 minutes into this, so can you give us another 20, 30 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So here we are into improving the moment, which is another way of distracting. These are all crisis survival skills. Okay. Improve. Okay. Replacing the immediate negative events with more positive ones. Changing how you think about yourself. Okay. Changing body responses to events. And that's, you know, that's a whole other part of DBT. And accepting and letting go. And that's what this all involves. Hold on a second. Okay. Ta-da, wait a minute. Is that it? Okay, imagery. How many people? Okay, now last time we never got to leaves on a stream. But I would recommend that if you want to do some nice imagery and some nice meditation, mindfulness, you try the leaves on a stream. It's on YouTube.
I shared the link before and I'll share it again.
Okay, I use Naomi Goodlet. The one with the yellow one is on the yellow leaf is on the rock. I love her British accent. So, you know, she's very, very relaxing, but you can take yourself to the beach. You can take yourself to the mountains and use all of your senses. If I were taking you to the beach, I would say, oh, shut your eyes, just listen to me. You're going to the beach. We are driving down the road and the windows are open and there's a breeze coming in the window. You start to smell the salt in the air. And you look out, and the sky is blue, and oh, maybe a few puffy clouds, and the sun is so warm. So you pull into the parking lot, and you hear the crunch of the sand underneath the wheels. Get out of the car, go to the trunk, pull out your stuff, put on your flip-flops because that sand's going to be hot. And you walk up on the stairs that go over the dune. And when you get to the top, you look out and there's the ocean. And it is so blue and just rolling in with white caps. And it's just about the same color as the sky. And when you look out, it's kind of hard to see where they meet. And the sun is just beating down on top of you. And that's as far as I'm going to go because I don't have a lot of time to do a full imagery. But did anybody go to the ocean? Just then.
There are heads shaking.
Okay. And then we have meaning. And this is one of my more favorite ones. If anybody wants to meet one of my favorite dead people, you can look into Victor. Oh God, it just went totally out of my mind. Help me out.
Frankl.
Frankl, thank you. I'm thinking no E. Okay, Frankl, no E. Victor has a K instead of a C. Look at Viktor Frankl. And Viktor Frankl was a Jew in Germany in the late 30s and made the mistake of not leaving. And he ended up in Auschwitz. And since he was a neurologist and a psychiatrist, he used his experience there to study people. And one of the things that he realized was if you have a why, you can live through any how. You can survive any how as long as you have a why. The people who had a reason to get through their suffering lived. The people who had no meaning in their lives died. And meaning is so important. Why are you doing this? Why are you suffering? You know, if you don't have a meaning, if you don't have a reason, invent a reason. And, you know, I've written a couple times that if you can think of no other reason at all, if you have children, if you had grandchildren, you are being watched. And you are an example of how to face adversity. How do you want them to do it? You know, how strong do you want them to be? How optimistic do you want them to be? You know, there's your meaning right there. Prayer. Everybody has their own spiritual religious beliefs. And basically with prayer, you don't have to be praying to God. You can be praying to your dead Aunt Tilly. I don't care, but you're not alone. And you are sharing the burden. You are articulating what's going on, at least in your mind. And for some people, that's just enough. If you have the faith, lean on it. If you don't, well, maybe great Aunt Tilly can help. Okay, relaxation is exactly what it says. You know, do some relaxation techniques. Reduce the tension in your body. This is a bottom up as opposed to a top down intervention. Imagery, meaning, prayer are top down. We're using our heads to control our bodies. Relaxation is using your body to control your head, because Descartes was wrong. There is no such thing as a duality of mind and body. He was totally wrong. He got us on the wrong path for about 400 years. So one thing in the moment is mindfulness. And we need to do one thing in the moment, because to begin with, your mind cannot handle two thoughts at one time. You cannot handle two activities at one time. Anybody want to be my guinea pig? Want to make a fool of yourself? Oh, come on. I don't hear anybody saying anything. Lynn? Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry. Marilyn's shaking her head no. And I almost.
Head.
Uh-huh.
Marilyn, darling.
Come on, Marilyn. You're it.
Okay. I would like you to count to 26 as rapidly as you can. And then immediately after that, say your alphabet A through Z as rapidly as you can. I will tell you when to start. Get ready, get set, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh,
A.
oh.
Go.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
13 seconds. Okay, now, my dear, I would like you to go back and forth. I want 1A, 2B. You got it? You know what what are you laughing about?
Oh, just start, Marilyn. You can
ready,
do it.
get set, go.
1A, 2B, 2, 3C, 4D, 5E, 6F, 7G. All right, I'm done, Sue.
Okay,
That was great.
you got about a third of the way through, and it was 15 seconds. How did you feel?
Stupid.
Stupid. What was happening to your blood pressure?
Probably going up.
Going up. Are you feeling stressed and anxious?
A bit, yeah.
Okay. This is the reason that we cannot really do two things at one time. And this is part of the reason that mindfulness works. When you're physiologically not capable, your mind can only be attending to one thing at a time. So she was going here, 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 here. And eventually she started to get really upset and confused. And no, one thing at the moment. You want to calm yourself down? Do one thing.
Thank you, Marilyn. You're a good sport.
You're a good sport, Marilyn.
You did it perfectly.
Thanks.
You fell right into my trap. Thank you. Okay, so vacation. And as much as I would like to say this is the Bahamas, it's not. Okay, it doesn't have to be that much. You know those candy commercials where they say, just enjoy, you know, like whatever, Giardia, or like whatever they're called, the candy, or go take a nap, or go walk around the block. Get yourself out of the situation. you know, move your mind into the chocolate, or actually walking around and looking at the sun shining and the trees blowing in the breeze, or snuggle down and feel how comfy your bed is. Okay, and encouragement is just what it is. It's a lot of self-talk. It's a lot of affirmations. You can do this. You're a great girl. I know you are. You can do this. You know, have you really, is there been anything in your life that you really screwed up so far?
Wait. Oh, okay. Actually, I just wanted to say this is another acronym. And one of the things that I remember very vividly is using affirmations. I was at my parents' house when my mother had Alzheimer's and dad had macular degeneration. And the only escape that I had from their situations was to go into the room upstairs, and I had written down all kinds of affirmations like, I can get through this. I'm strong enough to deal with them. And I don't know how I would have gotten by had I not done that, to be honest. And I use them now too. I don't go looking for them. I come up with them myself. They don't have to be complicated, you know, and you can just repeat the same thing over and over again. So, okay, my 2 cents.
Okay. Self-soothing. Okay. This is in some ways this is a bottom up, using things to make yourself feel better. This is the comfort foods, only not too much. This is the aromatherapy. This is the classical music. This is flipping through the National Geographic and seeing all those beautiful places. This is the stuffed animal, the bunny with the bunny ears that I imagine some of you would use when you were little. I know I had a bunny, and he had satin ears.
Well, how about dog's ears?
Dog's ears are good.
I love to pet the dog's ears. I love to pet the dog. To be honest, that's to me is a soothing touch, petting the dog, just the repetitive.
Yeah, this is true. I also have a thing for, you know, I also, believe it or not, have a thing for the smell of dog ears. Go figure it.
No. Puppy breath is better, but if you can't get puppy breath.
Yes. Dog ears are good.
Yeah.
So use all 5 of your senses. You know, and just because your vision's not so great, you still got 4 more left.
Well, folks, what do you use? Do any of you use any of these things? Do you have favorite smells? I use lavender a lot. My husband gags half the time when he goes into anywhere I've been because I've had lavender everything. I have lavender soap, lavender shampoo. Anybody use any of these things? Have any suggestions? Boy, they're quiet.
I'm going to jump in here. Couple of nights ago, went to bed. I was stressed. I had not slept well the night before. I got out the Vicks Vapor Rub and slathered it all over my chest.
You are crazy with that. You have written about that. You told me about that. Why Vicks?
When I was a little girl, if I were sick, I would get placed on the couch with all my, you know, my blanket and my pillows, and I had my my hot vaporizer and my crayons, and I draw on the outside of the vaporizer. And when I was a little queen quite a lot when I was a child.
You were spoiled. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, but I mean, I was the little queen. I was, you know, in my throne with the TV on, and I had Vicks Vapor Rub on my chest, and this was love.
Go figure.
Another weird thing that I have, I love the smell of fresh tar. And yes, fresh tar and new telephone poles. Because when I was little, we were in a brand new, I mean, I was born in 53. We were in a brand new development with tar and chip roads and brand new telephone poles. And my friends and I would go out there in our bare feet and pop tar bubbles. We'd jump from tar bubble to tar bubble. And
Okay, it's one thing to be able to get Vic Sav, but where in the heck do you get fresh tar?
I don't, but when I smell it when I'm out, when somebody's like tarring a road or something, like, oh, that smells good, and people are going. But I figured I had a beautiful childhood.
Yeah, well, it isn't any wonder you were a princess. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about that. She was an only child, okay?
Yeah, that's something to say for it. Another thing I love is gun oil, gun cleaning solution. Because ours was the hunting camp. Our house was the hunting camp when I was a child. And all my uncles would come in and we'd eat a big meal and then we'd sit around the table and I'd be there and they would be cleaning their guns. I mean, I was safe, I was secure, I was warm, I was fed. I like guns oil.
So there's nobody else in this group who's going to admit that they have one of these things that they really, really like that soothes them.
Okay. I'm with Sue. I like the smell of tar as well for the very same reason she does.
Really?
Woo-hoo! That's so weird after all.
You mean you went as a child and barefoot and popped tar
Well,
bubbles?
Not barefoot, but we lived on a road that was tarred with gravel. And then the tar would come up through the gravel and we'd go around poking the tar bubbles with
I knew there's
sticks.
a reason I liked you, Marilyn.
So
And
it is exactly 3:30, and I just wonder if rather than go on, we might stop here because it sort of looks, or is this a wrap up on the screen?
There's a ton more.
Yeah.
I could go on for, I mean, we've only done crisis survival. We haven't done, going back into the acceptance stuff, which is,
Well,
essentially-
weren't we going to do that the next session?
yeah, we can do that next session.
Okay.
I mean, but
Yeah.
I can talk forever, but
Anybody? Anything to say? No, everybody's, Sharon is just about asleep. I can tell
Uh-oh.
that. That's not actually tea in her drink, okay?
hey,
No,
that sounds
that
good.
wasn't tea. Anybody have any questions or comments? Now, I'll get you this information so you can go back over it. But to be honest, one of the things I like about this, because I've been reading this from Sue for 6 years now, is the acronyms. Because if you really pay attention to them and you're in a situation where you cannot think of anything to do, you've got them. There's one that she uses. What's the one that has, are you physically, are you getting enough food? Are you getting enough sleep? I wanted to say it's accepts.
That's the vulnerability factors. That's please.
Okay, I won't. All right, I'll keep my mouth
PL
shut.
is physical. The L doesn't actually stand for anything, but the PL is physical.
Please, that's right. Okay.
Then you've got eating, avoiding mood altering substances, sleep, and exercise.
Well, that's the one I like when I remember it. Marilyn?
I took pictures of the screen and I'm
Oh.
going to print those out. So I'll have those
Okay.
to work with.
Oh, good. Well, I'll have either, I don't know if I can copy these, but I know that there's all of this stuff is on the internet for free. This therapist who designed this has given this out for free, all of this. And there's just tons of it, but I'll work with Sue and pick out something. And Marilyn, you're so smart. Wow.
She is. I should have her as a tech consultant.
No,
Oh.
thank you. I'm not that smart.
Thanks a lot, Sue.
You're welcome anytime.
All right, anybody else? I think we're gonna call it. I want Susan to hold on a minute. Don't hang up right away, Susan. But the rest of you, if you'd like to go, that's fine.
Who's Susan?
Susan, down at the, Susan, raise your hand. There you
There,
go.
hi there. What's,
Susan,
there
you
she
look,
is.
your eyes look really, really bad. Are you still having problems with the cornea? Can you unmute?
Okay,
Susan, can you unmute a minute?
okay, is this personal conversation?
Probably, yeah, go ahead. Anybody else who wants to go ahead, go ahead. I want to talk to Susan. She,
I can figure
Thank
out
you,
how to get
Sue.
off there. You're welcome. I don't know.
Bye.
Sue,
Stay on, that's
Sue,
fine.
Sue,
What?
I'm
stop.
here.
Okay, no,
Stop
Sue,
sharing.
stop sharing and then you can leave, yes.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay, bye guys.
Susan, bye everybody, bye. Susan.